it's grab and go advice, I just want to show you real quick how I made this. This roast right here that I made is a chuck roast. It only took 3 ingredients, 4 if you add water to that. I used my new Hamilton Beach crock pot. I think that this one is a 5 or a 6 quart crock pot. And the only thing I put in here, other than a can and a half of water, is this. I used 1 packet of the Recipe Secrets onion soup mix. It's not the French onion, it's just the regular the regular onion soup. You can use French onion if you like. I used 1 can of beef consomme and 1 can of beef broth. And when I mentioned that I use 1 can of water, it's this can. After I empty it out, I fill it up with 1 can of water and maybe a half if the roast is real big. If it's not a super big roast, then I use probably around a third right there and fill it up about a third. Alright, let's look inside. Some people cook potatoes and onions or add salt and pepper. Because of the salt content that's going to be in these 3 products here, I didn't add any salt to my crock pot. It's just those 3 ingredients with the water, nothing else. No herbs, no salt, no pepper, no garlic, nothing. And the only thing I put in here is carrots and the beef. I used the large carrots at the grocery store, not the baby carrots. The large carrots, they tend to hold up while you're cooking this. It cooked for 4 hours. Before putting it into the crock pot, I did sear both sides of the meat, probably for about 4 minutes on each side. I used a little over a 3-pound chuck roast. I used a whole bag of carrots. What I did was I put all of these ingredients in first. I took a little fork and stirred it up. That's it. I browned my meat, like I said, about 4 minutes on each side, 3 to 4 minutes on each side just to get it brown. You're not cooking the thing all the way through, just to get it browned. Then I put the meat in here with the carrots on top. Did this, put it on high, set my timer. It timed it for 4 hours. And this is the end product. I added some rice, as you can see, to everything, some canned peas, and there's the meat. The nice thing about this is it makes a really nice azure in here. I just kind of call it broth. So you can go back and just go over everything with a little bit of this juice, and it is so good. Now again, if you're making this roast and you want to add more things to the pot while you're cooking it, you could put an onion in there, you could put some potatoes, peeled potatoes with the carrots. The reason I don't like putting potatoes in my crock pot when I'm making my roast is because the potatoes tend to make everything taste a little earthy. I know that's an odd way of putting it, but earthy's like the best thing I can think of. My husband used to think it was the carrots. He was like, oh, don't ever cook it with the carrots. The carrots make everything taste really earthy. And I'm like, no, it's not the carrots, it's the potatoes. So now if we want potatoes, I cook them on the side. Tonight I made mashed potatoes along with the rice because some people prefer mashed potatoes. Definitely made a little can of peas and made rice. Alright, this meat right here is so tender. In fact, it's so tender I'm going to take a plastic fork just to show you how tender this is. And this is just a plastic fork. Look at that. Not having to use a metal stainless steel fork. I'm not having to use even a knife. And it's just coming apart. Alright, this is grab and go advice, and my recommendation is high on this Hamilton Beach crock pot.